the person is in general and how much time he dedicates, but he has no experience in the rando, so it's gonna be interesting, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I took a look at Handsome Jackass's times on the leaderboards. He does have some Mega Man 2 experience, so that can help him deal with the randomizer. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure y'all wondering what the Mega Man 2 randomizer actually randomizes. As these two started Flashman stages, as you can see, we start off with Mets in the first screens of Flash. As you can tell, you got random music, random colors, you see randomized enemies, and their damage values are randomized. You got the stage bosses are randomized, their AIs and their weaknesses are randomized, the weapons you get after said boss is randomized, as well as the items you may get are randomized, in which item 1 is the only randomized attribute, and yeah, much more.
Indeed. And because we're starting with Flash, it's a pretty straightforward stage. A lot of weapon usage. And they're gonna be using the booster, mainly because they don't have anything else. And throughout the whole race, they will be mainly trying to conserve that ammo, because first of all, they don't know what they're gonna get. Items are randomized. They don't know which item and what are they gonna get in each stage. So item 1, item 2, and item 3, as in any Mega Man 2 speedrun, they're crucial and they need to be found. And we have Metal Man, CasualTom found, and Flashman's room.
Pretty vanilla attacking Metal, not too aggressive, and the Metal Blade not too slow, so pretty standard Metal Man. Not really susceptible to the Buster, so it's a slightly longer fight, but still a relatively easy fight as CasualTom gets item 2 as well after beating Metal Man in Flash Room. Also, I seem to notice a missing crash barrier. It looks like Buster is the weakness for the crash barriers. The crash barriers also having a randomized weakness.
Yeah, everything, guys, everything has a randomized weakness, with the exclusion of one enemy into the game, and that's called the Chain Keymaker, the guy that throws fireballs. And as you can see, CasualTom chose Quickman Stage 2. I should say a little bit about Quickman Stage. It's straightforward laser stage, I love it. And there is a couple of things that you can grab. You can grab a 1-up, you can grab E-Tank that he does properly now, and he'll transition through the rest of the stage. Meanwhile, having item 2, that's a really good start of the seed. I think you would agree.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Like Prodigy said, Quickman, Flashman, and in some occasions Metal Man, those are kind of easier stages to go through because they're not as item dependent. You can use them to snag quick E-Tanks, in which E-Tanks are not surprisingly very important in this game because of how enemy randomization works. There can be some really nasty enemies along the way, and life drain can be pretty quick as a result.
Ooh, the Prodigy special here. Yeah, we have it too. Well, Handsome Jack had to eat a laser, but I'm pretty sure he will now transition as usual. Yeah, this is the vanilla Quickman stage. The things that aren't randomized, we didn't say, are the stage layouts, I believe. We have small changes in Airman to make it reasonably easy, but it's still the hardest stage in the game, in my opinion. And yeah, CasualTom enters Quickman's room, and we have Purple Woody.
Not too bad of a Woodman in this regard. Slow falling leads so his shield doesn't activate very quickly, so he can get a lot of hits in on Woodman. Otherwise, he's also not Buster soft weak. So what we're talking about when we're talking about enemies being soft weak, there are 4 enemies that have a soft weakness to the Buster. So, and it's pretty much like the vanilla. So, like I said, we got 4 Robot Masters that are susceptible to the Buster. Right now, we haven't found them yet because those are randomized as well.
Indeed, because we play on easy mode just to give our runners an easy time, and the game is not easy, and this mode is as relentless as normal. If the game decides to be, I don't know, like this, having Joes there,
this is pretty mean.
this is absolutely mean. So I guess CasualTom will try this Bubble Zip. You can do this Bubble Zip with a lot of setups. Though we use the pulse buffer mainly because at this point we don't have item 1.
Yeah, odds are we won't have item 1 for this, but it is possible, but it's not very often.
Indeed, and saying item 1 reminds me that item 1 is the only item from the weapons and all the items that is randomized, has randomized movement. Like item 2 is not, item 3 is not, but item 1 has randomized flickering. It can disappear fast or slow, and it has random movement. It can be static, it can move really fast or extremely slow. So they want a good item 1, but that doesn't mean they're gonna get it.
Anyway, we got HJA actually beating Woodman very quickly with the bubbles he found much earlier. So he found himself a nice little soft weakness. Meanwhile, CasualTom wasn't able to complete the bubbles. They kind of just messed it up right at the last moment. So right now we got CasualTom moving through the rest of the Bubble Man stage on his way to Bubble Door to see what we're gonna get in that boss room. And has some jackass is gonna be traversing, like we said before, one of the more dangerous stages in the randomizer. But for right now, Airman stage is looking pretty tame, even though we got birds flying overhead.
Yeah, slowly but surely, waiting for those birds, taking his time, but still doing it without dying. I hope I don't curse him. He's doing pretty well. And CasualTom finds Airman and Bubble. For every Robot Master, finding a Robot Master in Bubble will change his mechanics a bit. He will jump higher because of underwater physics, and wow, he was really susceptible to the Buster, so we won't see him attached to the ceiling.
Well, he might attach to the ceiling. Of course, jump height is random for Airman as well, but regardless of the matter, CasualTom finds item 3 after beating him in Bubble Man stage and going straight to Heat Man. Taking a little bit of a gamble, but with items 2 and 3, this stage could potentially be short.
Yeah, item 2 and 3 in this stage guarantee you going through the Yoko blocks with item 2 without having the hustle to do them, and item 3 to get a zip, to get a vertical zip at a certain point of the stage. You will see it shortly, though it's pretty nasty. Prop tops and Metroids, wow. And he's doing like non-stop on this, wow. Really good job from CasualTom.
Well, it's fortunate that the Metroids are actually really weak to Buster. One shot makes that long stretch, which could be very treacherous in other situations, made that very simple.
And this is the place what I was talking about, this specific ladder. He's gonna try to do the zip with item 3 there.
AJ better watch his health. He's coming into the boss room with very low health.
He should, I say should, but I didn't keep track. He should have 1 E-Tank, because he's on 1 hit from the boss right now, regardless of what attack. Yep. Well, Heatman. His burn is also randomized, his speed, his pattern, how he throws his fire, so things can happen with Heatman. He seemed to be pretty vanilla movement, but still. A little bit faster than vanilla, okay.
Speaking of Heatman, we got CasualTom going to Heatman's boss room. Let's see what Robot Master we're about to face here. And it's Flashman. Let's see what kind of AI we got Flashman here. Pretty fast and low jumping, but very weak to the Buster. Not even taking the chance to even flash him.
Well, CasualTom is taking care of all these stages. I guess it's time for Airman. It's time for the unbeatable level for him too.
Well, listen what we got here. Pretty sure some Mega Man 2 fans already know what this is. Good old Mega Man 2 song.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Taking a bird to the face, those clouds can obstruct your vision, and things can happen. You don't know where it's coming, from where it's coming, you just kind of take it. Airman, that's Airman for you guys.
HJA going to Bubble Man, which we already saw from CasualTom, so we're pretty much going through each other's footsteps at this point. But CasualTom taking the death, that could give HJA a little bit of an advantage. But we still got a lot of randomizers to go. This is very early, and there is a lot of stuff that could happen that could cause wild lead changes.
Yeah, we know that Handsome Jack most probably is gonna have item 3 after the finish of after he finishes bubble. So, but both of them are still searching for item 1. I don't believe Handsome Jack got it from here, and CasualTom doesn't have it from Heat, so it must be somewhere else.
Worst case scenario is probably having item 1 locked in Crashman stage, because item 1 is dependent on how it's used, because item 1 is the only item that has a randomized attribute, can determine how to navigate Crashman stage, because you may or may not be able to try to do zips in that stage, which will save you a lot of trouble.
Ah, that's absolutely correct. Handsome Jack also misses his bubble zip. He will go through this green toxic, whatever, water. And yeah, we're talking about item 1 a lot. That's because it unlocks a lot of zips, makes the game faster, but the game is pretty fast without doing zips as well. So yeah, they don't save that much amount of time, so it will be fine, even if you get it late.
Yeah, we would probably say having zip is more of a luxury than a necessity. It definitely helps those that are familiar with it, but in some cases, in some seeds where items are probably not as useful, which can always be a possibility, knowing how to do the game without zips is probably just as important as doing it with, as Handsome Jack takes a nasty fall.
That's a very costly death. It returns him all the way back into the underwater section, and he needs to do it all over again. It's this is probably a minute or something, but it's still very early. Everything can happen, and CasualTom enters wood. Not having item 3, not having item 1, maybe he can do good wood with item 3, but I'm not sure he'll go for it.
Yeah, like I said, these guys have minimal interaction with the randomizer, and I know that CasualTom probably might not have as much experience with Mega Man 2, so I'm almost certain that CasualTom might not try to do good wood. Handsome Jackass, on the other hand, when he gets his crack at Woodman stage, when that time comes, he might go for it, but we don't know what these guys are thinking.
We really don't know. The only thing I can tell the viewers that can give them a perspective, I know CasualTom has played zipless and booster only, and Handsome Jack has played zipless. That's the two things I can tell you about their Mega Man 2 experience. I don't know to what extent they're good at, but seems that they're doing really well, because they're doing their stages like in a reasonable time.
Handsome Jackass fighting Airman in Bubble Room, like we saw previous from CasualTom's assault on Bubble Man stage. About to see what kind of AI he has.
Ooh, Jack is determined to find a weakness here. This is one of the Robot Masters. I tend to not find weaknesses, and the people try Buster because it's the best thing to do. Because you need to, if you're searching for a weakness, most of the times you won't hit him because of the tornadoes, the air shooters, and that's what happens. Well, it's a thing to see. Handsome Jack refuses to use his E-tanks, probably keeping them for later. I understand his idea. It's better to expend a life than expending an E-tank. Sometimes. It's a strategy thing.
Well, and meanwhile, CasualTom goes into Woodman's room and finds Quickman, who... oh yeah, he's pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's earning his Quickman name, but he's also weak to the Buster, so he goes down just as fast as his namesake.
Oh, CasualTom surely knows how to do the quick dance. If you played this game, guys, you will kind of know when Quickman is gonna dash at you. This is a very Very important thing to know. I see CasualTom having no issues. Still not getting item 1 though. There is only like 2 stages left. That's Metal and Clash. So I'm pretty sure if it's not here, it's item locked.
So yeah, AJ8 taking a tactical game over because low on lives. Pretty wise decision as he begins his assault on Heatman stage, in which, as we saw from CasualTom's side, pretty weak enemies. So Handsome Jackass should not have too much issue. Maybe.
I don't want to. Oh no! Who saves it? Nope. You see, guys, when there is a pickup and Mega Man gets that pickup, he loses his iframes and he may die in the lava because out of iframes problem. However, this wasn't the case. His reactions were really fast, but the second knockback got him. Meanwhile, CasualTom uses item 2 to bypass this second section of metal, rightfully doing so. Yes. And no issues for him as well. He seems to be low on life, but it's metal, it's almost the end of metal. And yeah, the game rewards him.
So we got a little bit of time before we find out who's on Metal Man's room. Metal Man's boss room is held pretty interesting with Robot Masters because the conveyors are going to be a bit of an issue. And especially since we already fought Metal Man, the conveyors are going to be one way throughout the entire fight as we see Crash Man in the room.
This can be pretty nasty fight with a conveyor belt and Crash, but he seems to take 4 damage from the booster, and Tom is getting it safe. 1-2 hits at a time, takes it out, no problem.
Looks like Handsome Jackass is opting to use the Yokus, probably forgetting that he should have already got an item 2 and could have bypassed this a little easier. He's wasting a little bit of time doing this. As a result, it's gonna wind up padding CasualTom's lead.
Indeed, I haven't seen him use his item 2 at all, so he must have item 2. Yeah, he's full. Well, things happen. I guess this seat is item locked because Tom is gonna have to climb this Crash. We're gonna see what the elevator levels will show. As I see in the first screen of Crash, you see, guys, there's a little mechanic. If you see the first screen of Crash, you will always you will always know what's coming. The Lacphibians. You see, the thing with these frogs is, if you had them at the same time on the screen, 3 of them, they don't detect there is 1 frog on the screen. They burp at the same time, and there will be lots of frogs and lag.
Yeah, so have fun with 9 little frogs and 3 big frogs, as you gotta lag off the yin yang. Well, to be fair, you can always know which enemy are gonna be in these moving platform sections by noting what are the very first enemies you see as soon as you teleport in Crash Man's room. That very first room, if you notice the enemies, they will almost always be the same when you get to these elevator moons.
Indeed, that's a small bonus and a detail. But Tom at least has item 3 for the climb. Meanwhile, Handsome attack on wood. I'm not sure. I think he's familiar with good wood. He's familiar with every zip in the game, but I don't know if he's gonna do it. He's still refusing to use any kinds of weapons. That's what I see on his screen. Refusing to search for weapons that are useful. He only fished on the Robot Master so far, which can bite him at the end, because there comes a factor that you need to know how your weapons act at a certain point so you can use them properly.
Meanwhile, Tom is having a little bit of issues with one singular seafood creature. Shrimps are really nasty in these randomizers. They can be really aggressive, and in areas that are vertical and they can potentially spawn on top of ladders, they have a very, very consistent action of knocking you off. So you don't want to see shrimp at any given moment on vertical sections.
Indeed, shrooms can have this hateful RNG coded in them. Sometimes they just won't let you through. And Jackass taking a nasty death from a bird. Luckily, he's next to his checkpoint, so it will continue instantly.
Yeah, the death wasn't too bad, but it's still another death that sets them back, as CasualTom is just about to go to Crash Room as he goes to his final Robot Master.
Oh, wait, reminds me, this is the item 2 on this screen. This is a purely zipless type. He used the item 2 to bypass these birds. Oh, and another bird. Well, meanwhile, CasualTom finds Bubble. He's not susceptible to the booster, but pretty fast Bubble, if I may say so.
Yeah, so fast he was able to take a death. Surprised he didn't decide to use an E-Ting or two if he had any, but it really doesn't matter. It was still a quick death, and Bubble Man should still go just as quickly. Not that hard of a Bubble Man. Well, they're kind of doing a DPS race at this point.
Safety wins the race. Taking an E-Tank to make sure he defeats Bubble and continue to the Whitey stages. And I don't know what time we have, but I will assume 21 minutes Whitey stages, and finally we get to see that item 1.
Alright, so CasualTom is the first in Raleigh 1, so for those that are familiar with the randomizer on the SpeedGaming channels, you know what time it is. Get your color of dinosaur thinking caps on, because it's now time for you to guess the color of the Mecha Dragon, and for bonus points, guess that weakness as well.
So I guess you want to go first?
If you don't mind.
Of course. Be my guest.
Roger, you guess?
Oh, no, I thought you were going first. Okay. Red Dragon. Red. And Crash. Let's go Crash. I love Crash. I love to see explosions and lag. Let's see. What's your guess, though?
I'm gonna go for the common sentence special and go True Blue with Buster Weakness.
Nice. Nice. Always good to see a Buster Weak Whitey boss. It's a rarity. Sometimes when the bosses aren't Buster Weak, it gives the player a lot of trouble. But I don't want to curse them really. Let's hope the dragon is good to them, I guess. And CasualTom takes his time to refill this item 2. This item 2 will come really handy in the later part of Whitey's. Meanwhile, Handsome using his item 2 to bypass, I guess this is the last section, yeah, of wood. He seems to be like close to 2.5 stages behind.
So a little tidbit about the Wily bosses. One thing that you always know about the Wily bosses is that they are never weak to the Time Stopper. So Time Stopper is never an option for any of the Wily bosses. But otherwise, each and every Wily boss has a chance to be weak to Buster, but that's a 50-50 chance for all of them. They can have Buster weakness, but if they're not Buster weak, the Wily bosses will always have some kind of weakness so that you'll be able to kill them.
Yeah, with the exclusion of Flash. It will never be Flash. Handsome Jack using his last E-Tank, so he goes to defeat Quickman, which was fast and furious, of course. And going to Metal to get another pair of E-Tanks. Meanwhile, CasualTom meets our expectations. Let's see. Let's see the color of the dragon here. Oh, Barney. Okay.
Kind of a lavender dragon, tinted purple.
Nice. It has also
Not Buster weak though.
Nope. Heat, very susceptible to heat though, and heat is instantly charged
as well.
Indeed, I'll let you go for it. And I guess we should explain how some of the weapon randomizations work. Like everything that is randomized, charging of heat is randomized. The 3 charging phases of heat can be slow, fast, and it can be instantly charged. So yeah, every weapon has its own randomized gimmick.
Not to mention that each and every weapon has its own randomized weapon use total, so you can have a small amount of weapon drain or a larger amount of weapon drain than normal, which could possibly mess with your thinking of how to use your weapons.
Oh, indeed. Like, not considering your weapon ammo can possibly bite you at the end. And I guess we should say that the only ammo consumptions that are randomized are the items 1, 2, and 3. That's mainly because of balance, and it's good to know at least you can count your item ammo. Nice, that nasty clash is gone. Handsome Jack completes Metal Man.
So AJ got one more robot master to deal with before he makes his assault on the Wily stages, while CasualTom is getting closer to the Pico Pico fight, which is surprisingly one of the more dangerous battles in the randomizer.
That's right. Mainly because their patterns are the same, but when you're falling into the boss arena, you don't know the weakness, so you need to search, and often when you search, you go out of position. And these Picos deal a lot of damage.
It doesn't help that the damage tables for these bosses can be really good or really bad in some cases. So finding the right weapon is pretty much paramount.
He finds wood, but very ammo dependent, and oh my, and it's pretty hard to deal when having such wood, especially when it's tanking sometimes.
Yeah, this is not good leaf shield, and leaf shield, if the randomizer seed allows it, would have been a really good weakness. But quick boomerang being another one, that's actually a decent weakness to find. Lots of ammo to use, usually around 4 to 5 hits to destroy. Pretty solid weakness, one that you probably would stick with if it's susceptible to it.
Yeah, not a lot of ammo consumption in Boomerang in general. It's really good. He took an A-Tank just to make sure everything goes smooth. And he's gonna take another one. Let's go. It's safe. It's safe. That's why you collect the E-Tanks anyway. Just use them when you have to.
Yeah, Pico giving Tom the business, but Tom surviving and going to Wily 3.
Wily 3 can be treacherous if the enemy spawns are particularly bad. There are a couple of spawns that can be tricky, but without out of the way, it's a pretty straightforward stage. He's gonna stop and refill some of his weapons. That it can be really useful, and Wily 4, they're basically preparing here, taking a little bit of time, like chilling in the stage.
Yeah, we also need to take note that Tom did not take the time to... No, wait, that's right. We already know what the weaknesses are. I almost forgot that the walls are buster weak this seed. We found that out really early.
Yeah, it's a strange thing. I still don't know if Jack knows. Jack didn't... at least I didn't see if he tested, okay. Maybe he knows. I hope he knows.
Got someone in the chat wondering what the music is for Wily 3. That's actually a theme for Bionic Commando. It's not a song that you would normally hear. I think it's a theme that you hear in like secret stages, I believe.
Yeah, I was wondering when I started playing the Rando, majority of these songs were, and this particular Bionic Commando song, I don't remember it. I had to go through some YouTube to kind of remind myself. And he's searching the guts. The guts fishing. You need to find a weapon, as every single Wily boss you don't know. And Bubble seems to work, and it works very well. Very low ammo consumption, dealing a lot of damage, mushing it to his face, and we're going through Wily 4.
I want to say that is Sea Green. We're dealing with Sea Green Hell this time around, as Wily 4, under most circumstances, would be the Great Educator, which seems to be our panhandle for this stage nowadays.
Wow, I've heard so many things about this stage. It's like the Great Educator, the Great Equalizer, Purple Hell, yeah, whatever hell. And It's just still not enough. There can be much more to this stage than just names. It's a pretty awful stage. It can ruin or make you run. Make or break your run.
How about we call it Bob Ross's Playground?
Bob Ross Playground of Colors. Let's go.
But no, seriously, Wally 4 can be a really sneaky stage at the very beginning. You know this stage is known for its fake platforms. Besides this screen, which is normal, the other two screens that had the fake platforms, those fake platforms are randomized. So you will never know which platforms will be the fake. So most of the times you'll probably use an item to negate them, or you can just go gutsy and just keep going straight and hope you don't get caught by any of the fake platforms.
Or there's a super safe option with Bubble, because Bubble travels on the ground as well. It can kind of show you where the platforms are, the fake platforms are. And I guess it's time to say that Handsome Jack has joined us in the Wileys.
Sorry, just trying to see what was going on in the room that CasualTom was going through. Decides to use item 2 because the area is completely barren. Well, there was an enemy, but it just went off the screen. CasualTom kind of thinking about his movement, waiting for the platforms. Wasted a little bit of time, but fortunately for him, he has time to actually afford to wait.
Patiently waiting. We haven't explained there's a thing called pause buffer, when you can reset your movement, and you can ignore this platform completely, but patiently waiting works as well, doing it the legit way. But he uses pause buffer here. This is very this is very awkward to me. And kinda didn't have enough item 2.
Yeah, he didn't recharge his item 2 and used most of his item 2 in the previous screen, almost messing himself up with that low amount. But fortunately, he was able to recover, and now he's on his way to the Boo Beam fight.
Yep, having most of his weapons recharged. Boo Beam fight potentially can be really easy or absurdly hard depending on what weakness did you get. He knows the walls. He may need to. Wow, I think he forgot.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I saw on HJA screen that there was a wall missing, and because of that, I was certain that it's Buster. I hope I wasn't lied to.
Yeah, see Metal Blade. He's gonna test Metal Blade and I guess Wood on the Boo Beams because they work vertically along with Air Shooter, to see if he can kill them vertically without destroying the walls, because he still doesn't know what the wall weakness is. And this fight, as we all know, can be really treacherous. If you're not pause buffering or you're off rhythm, you'll take a lot of damage and pretty kind of laggy movement throughout this whole fight, so it can be hard.
CasualTom taking quite a bit of time searching for weaknesses and still having trouble with the wall weakness. But we find that Boo Beam has beat the bubble at least, but he still needs to destroy a couple of walls to make sure that he can actually defeat the final 2 and get out of this stage.
He has one more E-Tank. Though his fishing is really chaotic, so I don't remember what he tested or not. I don't think he remembers either. I think he's now paranoid. He's gonna get from start to finish.
This is very, very bad if CasualTom doesn't remember that Buster is the... There we go, he finds it now. It took a little bit of time and wasted quite a bit of time on his fight, but he has such a big lead that he can afford these kinds of slip-ups.
Hey, Handsome Jack giving the dragon the taste of his own medicine. Properly, I think I saw correctly, using heat against the dragon. And CasualTom goes away into the refights, guys. Into the refights. Where you can see all the Robot Masters done again. And if the runners found the weakness previously, they can use it here, kind of get them off the way, faster.
So yeah, the robot matches in the teleport room and the rematches are all randomized, so we do not know what robot matches are in these teleporters. Not only that, Wally 5 also has the special feature that Duckfist, the creator of this randomizer, added. Wally 5 has the sole distinction of being the only stage to have its own special theme, and you get to hear it throughout the stage and won't be interrupted by the boss fight in between matches. So Wally 5 is an interesting beast.
And I believe this is X2, but what was that boss? I don't remember. I remember the stage, the rainy stage. I don't remember the name of the pickle. I don't remember the name of the boss.
What were you asking again?
The soundtrack of this. This was the pickle, but I don't remember the name of the boss.
Yeah, this is Wire Sponge.
Wire Sponge. Correct.
Yeah, it's X2, but I think the tempo of it might actually be from Extreme 2, the Game Boy version, because of the tempo. That's what I want to say.
Oof. I'm not gonna go into details mainly because I can't argue. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know the Game Boy of this. Like the Game Boy of how this song sounds. Nice manip for Metal Man. He's gonna take him flawlessly. Meanwhile, Jackass is having some trouble with the beat though. He's loaded with E-Tank and finds Quick Boomerang. Or does he? No, not Flashjack. It doesn't work this way. And he finds Metal Blade as well. Metal Blade seems to not use so much ammo, and it's a good, like, vanilla weakness.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of a coin flip. I would personally like to use Quick Boomerang rather than Metal Blade, but if you got a good Metal Blade, the versatility of the Metal Blade is still really useful, but you also got to consider the potential randomized attribute of Metal Blade. Right now, it seems like he has a decent Metal Blade to work with, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, if the randomizer decides, guys, like, Metal Blade can be not spammable, like, you cannot spam, like, multiple Metal Blades like in vanilla, and it can be used slow, and being Metal Blade does not mean it's gonna be OP, so you might gonna have to find something else.
Trying to see what Robot Master CasualTom is on his refights. He's on his last one, so yeah, he's on his way to fight the machine. Let's see if he does the randomizer tradition and still be Buster Week.
This can be really bad. Let's go. It's Buster. Fine, it's Buster. Fine. I was hoping to see some stuff because I saw CasualTom having no E-Tank, and I was wondering how the guy would react without Buster weakness. But hey, it's still fine.
He taking time. About to say, he was taking time to grab items. That could have been really dangerous because he was really low on health and he did not have any E-Tanks. That could have been really nasty, but Tom wisely just decides to finish off the machine so he doesn't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, as we said before, picking up ammo or health vanquishes your iframes, so it can be really scary. And Jackass dragging those Joes. That's scary too. Don't do this, Jack.
Yeah, we don't want the Plumber Joes to give him the bill for trying to go through this septic tank of a stage.
And CasualTom makes his way in onto the alien. Oh, let's go. It's over, Wiley. We know it's over. It's about time.
Good luck with weakness hunting. Alien not weak to Buster nor Atomic Fire. But wow!
Ooh.
What an air shooter weakness.
That was triple air. And when the 3 airs hit him, just destroyed him in a second. GG's. CasualTom with an official SRL time of 39:01.
So yeah, GG to CasualTom as he goes 1-up in our best of 3 in this matchup. That to remind everyone, all our matches up to the grand finals are all best of 3, 2 out of 3. So we still got plenty of randomizer action coming up in this race.
Indeed, these two didn't go neck and neck on the first race, but I'm pretty sure that Handsome Jack will do better on the second one. Always after doing one race, you kind of get the feel and the vibe for the randomizer, and you are doing better the second one, trust me. So I'm pretty sure he will finish strong here and give us a good second race.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Handsome Jack's gonna decide to continue or not. But meanwhile, HAA is destroying the Guts tank, finding Bubble as a weakness as he continues on through to Wally 4.
Yep, Wally 4. Once again, the make or break stage. He's thinking about it. It's like we said, guys, when someone finishes, it's the other runner's choice if he should finish or not. It's a personal thing. Like, if you want to keep it calm, like, you can finish the race, like, just to get it out of the way. And if you don't, like, you can just forfeit and say, hey, I'm gonna do much better. It's... He seems to be fine.
Keep going.
Oh, no. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's always happening.
Hey, it's a thing with commentary. It just happens. But yeah, as we were trying to say, there's no shame in either action. If you feel like just want to stop so you can just catch your mind up and just try to do better on the next seed, that's just as fun as keeping going and just trying to see if you can finish a seed to keep your personal morale up. So right now we're seeing Handsome Jackass trying to get through the first sections of Wally 4 and dealing with these randomized fake platforms. Right now they seem to give him quite a bit of trouble.
That's what we were talking about. You never know. Oh, getting the vertical here. Nice. Well done. Well done by Jack. Skipping the second part of the randomized platforms. And he wants the E-Tank. Just... This fat fiend doesn't allow him to move. So he must go down and destroy him.
Focusing on CasualTom's screen for a bit since he's going through the credits, one of the nice things that the randomizer has added was the weakness table at the end of the credits. It's a nice thing to just know what your enemies are weak to if you just have a quick moment.
Handsome Jack taking a spike to the face. Well, not the face, but still taking a spike. These Wily screens, like, they're not really hard on this seed in particular, but can be really treacherous and can always ruin runs. Doing the shock against here. Thanks, Jack.
About to see what his action is going to be in this upcoming screen, because this screen is pretty much barren. Yeah, just one enemy just exiting out of the screen completely. Looks like he's opting to use item 2 and successfully gets on.
There's always some combo of enemies, like on these screens, but if it's a shrimp or I don't know how this guy is called, the small blue guy, they can potentially despawn and go off screen or not spawn at all. So yeah, it's always a good thing to see like empty screens.
AJ choosing to do pause buffering to keep going through the stage, not waiting on the moving platform.
We didn't talk about it, but the item is pretty good, and he's taking the zip with a nade trigger to the boobing. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Yes. Good job.
Couple of slow wiggles, but still a successful jump nonetheless.
He knows it's Buster.
We can assume he remembers that it's Buster.
Yeah, it's a thing, guys. There's so many weaknesses you need to remember. There is a time where you're gonna forget.
At least we confirmed that he did remember.
Yeah, he did remember. Especially with the seed, like, makes you search for weaknesses. You're gonna have to remember a lot of things.
So
Nice.
once, go on ahead.
I'm seeing and I'm happy that he has no issues. He has done the boomies at least twice as fast as CasualTom. At least, and not using the E-Tank, which is pretty crucial and can come in handy in refights and machine.
So now HJA's turn to go through the refights. We should tell our viewers to continue to stay tuned, keep an eye on SpeedGaming for more scheduled randomizer tournament matches, and of course follow our runners. These guys are putting on a heck of a show, showing out what the randomizer is capable of and their skill levels in the randomizer as well to entertain you kind viewers.
I personally think this seed was very kind. Oh, there's nothing wrong with being kind, but as a randomizer, I expect to see some wacky things and some things that will push their brains a little bit. Not to their limit, but a little bit. Out of their normal Mega Man 2 thinking. Regardless of the matter, they are adapting pretty well. Though Jack has no heat ammo left and still searching for weaknesses. This is not so crucial. He has to use his E-Tank here, meaning he will now know E-Tanks for the machine.
No, he opts not to use that E-Tank. Probably wanted to save the E-Tank for the Wily machine, which is not that bad of an idea. Pretty much a common practice in these kinds of situations. So I really don't blame him in the slightest for his option.
Oh, he's trying to exploit Metal Man because if you hold the quick boomerang button, choose automatically, right? And Metal Man doesn't do any action, at least for some time, when you're doing that. Unsuccessfully though, because quick boomerang has very awkward pattern, and it's not weak to Crash 2. And Metal Man take cares of Jack pretty quick.
Yeah, Metal Man seems to be giving HA the business this time around. Not often that you see Metal Man being the wall in refights.
Jumping really high, but that's typical for Metal. It seems that Jack is having issue with this, with adapting to Metal. He's fine now. Going for the damage race.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is a pretty standard Metal Man AI, so it probably just not used to fighting Metal without any good weaknesses.
Yeah, guys, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get good boomerang like in vanilla. You're gonna hold that button, Metal Man, instantly. No, maybe he's immune to the boomerang. Maybe the boomerang is pretty bad. You don't know, so you need to have backups. Backups are good. They're not a bad thing here.
Trying to survive against Airman, he doesn't have much health left, and he's out. And it is a game over to boot. And we should inform that at that point, HAA has decided to forfeit the match. But GG's to HAA this match for even trying to get this far and trying to finish.
Indeed, GG's. And this game over, I think, broke him. Was the last straw that broke him.
It was a valiant effort, but the seed just gave, as I kept saying, it just gave him the business this time around.
Yeah, seed. You can see some runners do very well on seed, but do poorly on other. That's because nobody knows how to adapt well on this randomizer. Absolutely nobody. So as you can see, one seed for the other runner can be really good. It can be easily the opposite thing on the second race. Well, that all said, GG's to both of the runners, and I guess we'll take a little bit of time to set up the second race. grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and be prepared for the second race. Hey, and I think our runners are almost ready to go. Meanwhile, on the guys that are joining us now, welcome to the second randomizer race between Handsome Jack and Casual Tom. Tom has taken the first one, though I think the seed got the Jack and he'll do better. What do you think, Reed? What do you expect of the second race?
Yeah, when you're new to the randomizer, it takes a little bit for you to get used to the subtle nuances and not so subtle nuances that the randomizer can dish out. I think HJA is just getting his groove back. Like he mentioned to us before, he hadn't played Rando in over a year, so he probably just gonna need to get used to some of the newer stuff that the randomizer had added since then. As for CasualTom, he started off pretty well, but he's new as well. He probably might not have seen some of the stuff that HJA has dealt with. So we're gonna see if the seeds can flip flop and we have a